Hi everyone, and welcome to ProQuality community. My name is Vyacheslav, and I am excited to be the moderator for today's session. Today, we will delve into the world of ISTQB AI certification. We are joined by an expert who will share her own path towards achieving this certificate. And I'm thrilled to introduce our today's speaker, Alina. Alina has been working in IT industry for more than 6 years. She has a number of certificates in STQB, like Foundation, Mobile, and AI, as well as certificate ESBA in BA domain, and she has specialized in QA and BA roles in different domains like fintech, trading, real estate, e-commerce, and of course AI. Hi, Lina, and welcome to ProQuality community.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me today.
I have one quick question for you. Why did you choose so-written name for today's event?
Wow, that's a good question. That's because, generally speaking, when it comes to ISTQB, especially AI certification, it is quite tricky and difficult to get ready for and to pass. That is why I've decided to select such a title for my presentation. And I did not mean to scare anyone here, just to give my thoughts, inputs, and insights on the certification generally.
Okay, cool. So, and we are all, I think, looking forward to get these insights from you. Before we start, dear our colleagues, dear our audience, we encourage all of you to post your questions, drop your questions in our chat on via community platform in YouTube, and we will address these questions on our Q&A part in the end. So without further ado, let's get started. Alina, over to you.
Thank you. Um, so I'm Alina. Well, you have already get that. I'm currently working as a senior quality assurance engineer. Um, and the purpose of this event today, of my presentation, is to dive deeper into the realm of AI. I'm also a huge fan of ISTQB certifications, and I'm more than thrilled to share my experience, maybe some tricks and insights on how to pass the certification without suffering much. Feel free to reach out to me in LinkedIn if there are any questions or anything you would love to discuss with me. So let's get started with, well, of course, agenda. What we're going to discuss generally can be divided into the following categories. So introduction to the certification for testers. I will say a few words about the key points covered by the syllabus. Also, there is one specific to this precise syllabus, which is hands-on exercises. And I will try to give you some hints on how to handle them, how to get ready to them, what to do, and the like. Then we will also have a look at registration and pricing processes. In the end, I will try to give my feedback on advantages and disadvantages of being a certified tester, especially in AI. And as Vyacheslav has already mentioned, in the end of the whole presentation, we're going to discuss your questions if there are any. If there are none, then I'll be sure that you have understood everything and all went well. So, and we will start with the first point. So, introduction to AI certification. To those of you who has already had a chance to visit the ISTQB official website, this diagram here might be familiar. Basically, that's the way the certification looks like. As you can see, there are three paths: Agile, Core, and Specialist. And also you can see an arrow to the right-hand side of the screen, which is in the Specialist path, and it's AI testing. This specific certification is going to be discussed today. And also, please pay your attention to the bottom of the screen, as whatever certification, whatever level you're about to pass, you must have foundation level certification, else you will not be allowed to register and pass any other certification. It doesn't matter if it is foundation level, advanced, expert, whatever. So generally, what is it? So the certification itself, it offers a great and comprehensive understanding of AI concepts and their application in software testing. Let me tell you this. Currently, the majority of my colleagues thinks that AI is the same as LLM, but it's not. So being able to test LLM is not the same as being able to test a robot. And the syllabus explains in a very good and easy language what AI is and how to test it outside of LLMs, which is a must remember thing here. As I have already mentioned, in terms of requirements, the foundation level certification is required in order to proceed with registration and the exam. And the structure is pretty straightforward. You might already be familiar with it. It consists of 40 multiple choice questions. The passing score is 31. The total quantity of points is 47. So some of the questions are ranked and rated as 2 points, not as 1 point. Despite this, it still is quite difficult to get this 31 point, since the majority of the questions are practical questions. So it's quite difficult to grasp the essence without having little or zero experience with it. Well, and the exam is 60 minutes, but if you are going to pass it in the language which is not your mother tongue, then you are going to have 25% of time, which makes it like 75 minutes generally. So 1 hour and 15 minutes to pass the exam and to answer 40 questions. It depends on a person, of course, and on the experience, but generally it's more than enough to answer all of the questions. So on this slide, the key points covered by the syllabus are highlighted. As far as I'm concerned, this syllabus is one of the biggest ones. So there are around 100 pages. While Test Manager, for example, syllabus has only 82 pages. So there's quite a difference on that as well. Generally, there are 11 chapters, which are Introduction to AI, Quality Characteristics of AI-based Systems, Machine Learning Overview, as well as Data. Then there is Machine Learning Functional Performance Matrix, Neural Network and Testing, Testing AI-based Systems Overview, Testing AI-specific Quality Characteristics, Testing Methods and Techniques for AI-based Testing, systems. test environments for AI-based systems. And the last one, and the shortest one, if I recall correctly, is using AI for testing user interface. Well, now let's speak about hands-on exercises, because again, if I'm not mistaken, that's the only syllabus that has hands-on exercises sections. Generally, what they refer to practical activities or tasks designed to reinforce theoretical understanding covered by the program. Of course, it is possible to omit them and you're not going to be judged. So you can skip them, ignore them, just don't pay your attention to them. But I would not recommend doing that, especially if you do not have any experience. On the upper part, on the lower part of the slide, you can see an example of such an exercise for the chapter 3. So demonstrate overfitting and underfitting. And generally, the task is to demonstrate the concepts of overfitting and underfitting on a model. This could be demonstrated by using a data set that contains very little data and a data set with poor feature correlations. It is a good thing if you already have experience. If not, on one of the further slides, I will give my suggestions on how to approach these exercises. So, how to handle them? First of all, your first option is to search for an appropriate course, like in Udemy, Coursera, maybe inside of your company. There are some courses where these practical tasks and exercises are explained. So how they can be approached and solved, etc. Then search for as many mock exams as possible online. When I passed the certification, the majority of them was not free, but I'm not sure how the situation looks like currently. And additionally, on the ISTQB official website, there are also some mock exams with answers. So you could just read them through and try to understand why a correct answer is as mentioned. That's it. Point number 3 is to search for a training provider, because there are actually 2 options. You can register for just an exam, or search for a training provider, which also allows you to pass the certificate for a reduced price in the end of the course. Let's call it that way. It might also be an option, but again, it is the question of available resources and finances. Let's call it that way. And the last point is to collaborate with experienced colleagues and mentors. Maybe there are some inside your companies who can provide guidance and support you with those tasks. Well, the choice is yours. You can do at least 1 point out of this 4. I actually did all of them, so that's probably why I managed to pass the certificate. So, of course, a huge variety of tools can be selected as well and used for passing the exercises. When it comes to me, I used Weka Development Framework. It is a great framework for working with data for tuning, retuning, for improving them, and afterwards these data can be used for further development and machine learning. Then it is Excel, of course, XP class, inductive pairwise tool, and Google's Teachable Machine. Again, these tools are the ones I personally used. However, I'm pretty sure that there are some new tools, or the ones that can be used maybe from inside of your company as well. The choice is yours, totally. The registration process, it's super easy and straightforward. So you go to the official ISTQB website and find exam provider in your region, whether it is Poland, the UK, the US, you name it. Then you register by providing your data and also attaching the certificate, the foundation level certificate, since it will also be checked. And you pay. That's probably the most painful part of the certification, since the cost varies depending on the region. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. But the price ranges from $200 to $400. Some companies cover the whole payment, some partially cover it, some companies do not do that at all. So once again, you need to decide if it's worth investing into or not really. Then the next step, you select exam type. It can be an online exam or on-site exam. Once again, it depends on your location. But even if you select online exam, it can be quite a painful process because even big screens in your apartment, in the room, you're going to pass the exam and will need to be covered, and it is checked very strictly. So I'd rather go on site personally. And the last step is to pass the exam. Afterwards, have a deep breath and proceed with your career goals. So one of the last slides is what are advantages and disadvantages. Of course, these are my personal observations, insights, and what I personally think on that. Please keep in mind that it is okay not to agree with it. So when it comes to advantages, first and foremost, I would say that these are career opportunities. Because with time, I see that the quantity of positions where AI testers are required is becoming higher and higher. So it increases, and I'm pretty sure that in a few years, the majority of the positions will include the knowledge of AI and AI testing skills for quality assurance engineers. Of course, it is increased earning potential, which means more money, literally. Let's be honest, everyone works for money, and to some extent because they are interested in what they do. Point number 3 is recognition and cool skill set. That's because while getting ready for the examination and passing those exercises, you get acquainted with new tools that can be used. Personally, I did so. That can be used on your real life projects, which is also very cool indeed. And the last point, but probably not least, is being in the center of industry trends, since I don't need to tell you that AI is everywhere basically right now. And having that in mind, you will be always in the center of it all. So my recommendation is to go for it. Of course, there are two disadvantages, and they are pretty solid. The first one is cost, because as I have already mentioned, the cost varies between $200 and $400 depending on the region. But in terms of cost, you can also expect paying for mock exams, for training providers, for some additional materials you might want. So before proceeding, getting ready for the certification, you might want to think on that a little bit. And the last point is time and efforts, because getting ready is really time consuming. And also you need to be mentally prepared to not to pass it. So if you're okay with such, well, let's call it stress, then I'm pretty sure you will be okay with the certification, with the exam, and whatever it can be. The two last slides contain a few examples of questions you might encounter during the certification. This example is here because of the way the question is asked here. So, which of the following statements is least likely to be used as a rationale for selecting an ML algorithm? Basically, ISTQB likes asking questions using the words least, best, most, etc. In this precise situation, a correct answer is highlighted in red, obviously, which is the number of measured characteristics used as the basis for a sports prediction system. The problem is that this word list here means that a few options could be correct, but there is one which less than others fit the answer. So in such situations, such situations are quite stressing, at least for me, and as well as confusing. So it's quite difficult to answer such questions. And on the other hand, this example here is super easy because you have a confusion matrix here. And the question is, which of the following options represents the precision of the classifier? So for this certification, you will need to learn by heart a few formulas. And this is an example of a question where you would need to recall one of the formulas, the precision one. So the correct answer is C, which is 78 divided by 100 and multiplying 100. So this is an easy question. Once again, the decision is yours whether to take it or not. I did, and well, that's one of the best decisions I did in my life. So if you have a chance and opportunity, then go for it. Well, now, the time for questions and answers.
Thank you, Alina, for the very interesting talk and sharing your own experience in getting the certificate. dear colleagues, before we move to the Q&A part, we kindly ask you to scan the QR code that you can see on the screen. Um, if you follow it, so you can rate our event, you can give a badge to our dear speaker. This is very important for us to evaluate how successful our event was. So feel free to uh, assign badge, rate event. We will also share the link, short link that you can also open and perform rating. Okay, so now let's move to the Q&A part. And probably the first question will be from my side. Alina, how much time did you spend uh, to prepare well and pass the certification successfully?
I can tell you that it very much depends on a person,
Mhm.
on, let's say, learning skills and possibilities and the willingness to pass the certification. It took me around 3 months of everyday work, but again, I'm not saying that that's the case for everyone.
Mhm. Thank you.
So it's quite time-consuming thing, but well, it
Yeah, just
definitely
in
worth it.
general to understand, yeah, average time, let's say.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. We have got several questions in our chat. So let's
cool.
start with the first one. Um, how is the current job market for AI testers for both India and outside India? So actually, you have covered partially it on one of previous slides, but let's maybe sum up what is the situation right now.
Well, what I have noticed in the recent month is that the need and possibilities for AI testers has increased. I'm not saying that um, much as I would have expected. Um, it is currently increasing as well, but on a light pace, let's call it that way. So if you search for work using LinkedIn, you will definitely find several opportunities. But of course, not enough for everyone, let's call it that way. And also, it really depends on a market because the majority of them are either for Europe or for the US. In terms of India, I'm not sure because I have never checked that market. But generally, it is increasing slowly, but increasing.
So global trend is increasing, yeah, and ISTQB AI certification can be your competitive advantage in it.
I believe so.
Okay, very good. Let's move to the next question. Is any prerequisite to start AI testing?
Actually, ISTQB says that no. If you want to pass the certification, the only prerequisite is to have the foundation level certificate. That's it. Based on my experience, I would suggest having some experience before going to the exam. Else, you might encounter situations where you do not understand the task, where you do not understand the question, and hence you will have problems answering it. So my advice is to gain that experience from someone or something, some projects, whatsoever. But strictly speaking, from the ISTQB perspective, it is not necessary.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. And let's move to the next question. Is it possible to get into exploration program with zero experience in this domain. I think that we have covered, yeah, on the previous question.
Yes, that's the same one.
Yeah, let's move to the next question. Is it required to have university knowledge level in math analysis and statistics to approach AI testing? one more thing.
Well, let me tell you this. Currently, AI is not as developed to require specific mathematical knowledge from testers. Of course, if we're speaking about developing algorithms, working with robots somewhere in China, let's say, because if I'm not mistaken, China is almost #1 in the world with robotic technologies and stuff. They have their trading fairs there and the like. So if you are going to work for such a company, for sure you will be mathematical knowledge would be a plus. But if we're speaking about general market, professional IT market, and an average AI tester position, no. Mathematical knowledge as well as university degree are not required at all.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's move to the next question. The syllabus is the only one place where we can get exercises that are like the ones that we will be taken in the exam. I think we have mentioned, yeah, as well this, but let's maybe sum up one more
Yes.
time.
So first of all, in the official ISTQB website, there is a section, of course, dedicated to AI Testing Certificate. And there are several documents linked there. So first of all is syllabus, and then there are mock exams, so around 50 or 60 questions with answers and with explanations and with everything you might need, and it might be enough to pass the exam. Actually, the second way is to search for a course, again, somewhere on Udemy or Coursera, which provides examples of questions. It is also a good approach, but once again, it is not free. And a last thing is to, well, just Google mock exams. But they are not necessarily will be free as well. And there is also one pain point here for the above mentioned places where you could find example of questions and stuff. The thing is that the questions might repeat, and they definitely will. Again, I'm saying it based on my experience. Because if I recall correctly, I bought around 4 or 5 mock exams. And generally, not the majority, but around 30% of them repeated everywhere. So it was not very pleasant, let's call it that way. And again, there is one more thing why I would suggest you get at least some experience before passing the exam. Well, of course, if you don't want to pass it 5, 6, or 7 times, is that the even mock questions you might encounter online, you might pay for them, they are way easier than the questions you are actually going to have during the exam. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but that's how real life looks like. So
Thank you.
generally, there are three, 4 ways to get examples of questions you might encounter during the exam.
Thank you. This is very, very useful information, I think, for our guys who are watching us today. Okay, we have one more interesting question. I think it's quite popular in about AI certification. AI is a rapidly evolving field at the moment, with changes occurring every day. How relevant will obtaining certification be in 6 months, for instance?
Mhm. That's a good question, actually. Let me tell you this. Um, a huge plus, a huge advantage of ISTQB certification, well, this one precisely, is that it gives you a general overview of AI currently as it is. So the concepts, the techniques, generally everything. If we were speaking about a specific domain, about something that is constantly and rapidly changes almost on daily basis, then probably this question would be more relevant. I do understand that we all have the feeling that AI is evolving on, well, hourly basis. That's actually not the truth, because the syllabus provides us, once again, general information and general knowledge on AI, on machine learning, and these are the pillars the AI is currently built on, which are unlikely to change at least in the following several years. That's to some extent reminds me of foundation level certificate, because, well, the world of QA is also evolving. So how relevant will foundation level be in some time? So it will always be relevant. If you have the basics, then based on it, you can gain new knowledge, adapt yourself, your career, and, well, grow and develop your skills. What is evolving in AI are LLMs, but for now, it's just the way of trials and errors and failures. So the AI currently, the one we know it, is very difficult to call a real AI. It's just some tries of humanity to build an AI. So you can become, for the following 5 years, the knowledge you will obtain by reading the syllabus will be more than enough for you to work as an AI tester. That's what I think on that.
Quite true. Thank you. Uh, let's move to the next. Could you any coding experience is required before starting AI testing course? I think we have covered, yeah. So no, any probably, yeah, coding experience is required if you want to obtain or prepare for AI certification. Could you please recommend courses on Udemy or Coursera? Do
Okay,
you have
actually, I
any?
was. Yes, I have one, but I'm just wondering how can I do that? If I have link, will be able to share it with everyone?
Um, we can, and we can post a link after the event.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay, we
okay.
will do that then.
Yeah, let's do it after event, and we'll share with our audience. The next question is it reasonable to take this exam if I have no AI testing experience and now I don't work in this area? Your opinion?
Okay, let me tell you this. No, I'm not selling the exam here. So my personal opinion is no. The only thing I would recommend to you is just read the syllabus. Well, if you are interested in AI, of course, my recommendation is to read a syllabus because it does give you the essential knowledge. So if you want to get acquainted with AI, with neural networks, with machine learning, you can read it through because to me, this is a very, let's call it a verified source developed by professionals. I am pretty aware of the fact that there is a huge amount of books currently on anything related to AI, but one can never guarantee that a book is really written by a professional. So here I am pretty sure that the knowledge I will get and what is written in the syllabus is basically the truth and can be applied in every AI IT related project. And once again, if you have nothing to do with IT testing or anything else, but you want to know how it works, I mean AI, my recommendation is just to read the syllabus and that's it.
Thank you. So, guys, if you want to broaden your knowledge, just try to read, and then you can understand whether you need the certification, if it is interested for you, and so on. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. We have 2 minutes left, and we have two questions. Let's try to
Okay, let's do
answer
it.
them. Can you share some resources to learn AI testing? Again, this question. So everybody wants to get resources. So Alina, if you have any, please share with us. We will share later on with our audience.
Okay,
Uh,
good.
the last question, probably for today, how we can trust in AI tools? Thinking about self-healing. Can we trust?
To be really honest, I do not understand the question, but a simple answer would be we cannot. But this question is to some extent really philosophical one because can we believe ourselves? Can we trust ourselves? Not really, right? So while using AI tool, well, okay, let's speak about ChatGPT, okay, because everyone knows it. To some extent, we can be sure that our data is encrypted, that everything is not shared with, I don't know, FBI or CIA or whatever agency it would be, but you cannot actually. So just try to use, let's say, verified tools, the tools that are suggested or recommended by your companies, because they usually pass specific checks, well, at least security ones. Other than that, there is no way to check if the tool is secure. And well, or you could also improve your security testing skills, test the tool, and well, proceed with that. But that's a very interesting question. Thank you for it.
I like one of comment of our participants. Trust but verify. Yeah, this is like
Right.
summary of you just replied. Uh, cool. Thank you. We haven't got any questions. Again, please rate our event, and let's wrap up. So today we have explored the path how to achieve ISTQB AI certification, the pros and cons to become AI certified tester. We hope that Alina's stories has shared those of you considering this certification and provide valuable insights for everyone about the world of AI testing. Uh, as usual, we will be sending our feedback form within an hour. We encourage all of you to participate and provide feedback for us. This is very important for us to understand how to make our future events more interesting for you. And I think that's all for today. Thank you, Alina, one more time for joining us today.
Thank you
Uh,
much for having me.
Stay tuned with us, join ProQuality community in YouTube, and have a good the rest of the day.
Bye bye.
See you. Bye.